chocolate tart. It's such a delightful dessert, but we're not making any old chocolate tart. We're actually going to be doing a berry chocolate tart. Well, technically it's not really berries, it's just strawberries and raspberries, so berry. Yeah. Anyway, you get the idea. So we're actually not going to be using dark chocolate, milk chocolate, or white chocolate. So what chocolate are we using? Ruby chocolate. So we're actually going to be using some ruby chocolate, and it's going to have that sweetness, that sourness to it. It has kind of a characteristic of a acidity going through it. So kind of reminds you of a berry, right? So we're going to be using sweet pastry for the lining. In addition, we're actually going to make some strawberry and raspberry jam to go underneath, and then we're going to make the beautiful ruby chocolate mix to go on top with butter, sugar, cream. Don't think there's anything else, but we're going to find out. So let's crack on, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. So before we do anything, you know what I'm going to say. Turn on your oven, preheat it, 350 Fahrenheit or 180 Celsius. And before we start jumping on that sweet pastry, let's get the jam on first. So we've got a pound of strawberries here, which we've got 454 grams. And we've also got some raspberries here, which is about 6 ounces or 170 grams. So we need to wash these first. So once you've given them a rinse in the packets, just drop them out onto some kitchen roll just to help them dry off. So these raspberries are super fresh and, well, not that one. And what we want to do is take a few of these berries out. We don't want to put all of them into the jam, just for a bit of garnish for later on to go on top of our tart. So look for the nicest ones to put on there. We don't need too many, just about 4 or 5 of each. And in addition, you want about 3 nice strawberries as well. So grab yourself a large pan and a little knife. Just take the tops of the strawberries off and then just obviously cut them in quarters. And if you want to do this on the chopping board, it's probably a lot more safer than the way I'm doing it. Absolutely. And then just pop your raspberries in there as well. So we're going to need 200 grams of sugar or 1 cup, which, yeah, I think I need to go get some more, right? So after finally getting the sugar, I'm going to add that to the pan. In addition, we want 1 teaspoon of lemon juice as well. So pop your strawberries onto a medium-low heat. And this is going to take about 30 minutes. Give it a mix now and again as well, just so it doesn't burn, but you should be good. So now it's time to crack on with the sweet pastry. So we're going to need 160 grams, which is 0.63 cups. Yeah, I know I'm terrible with the cups. I'm sorry, guys. Of plain flour or all-purpose flour. In addition, we also want 50 grams or half a cup of icing or powdered sugar, if you want to call it. In addition, you want 1/3 of a cup or 75 grams of unsalted cubed butter. In addition, so as I was saying, in addition, you want yourself 1 beautiful egg yolk as well to go in there. And then oh wait, we weren't supposed to add the egg yolk yet. I think we need to start again. So once you finally get back to this stage, you want to break down that butter and then incorporate it into the flour and the sugar. So now's the time to add the egg yolk, to be a little bit more exact. Sorry. And then what you want to do is just mix this through just until it binds together. And you might need a little dash of milk, more like a teaspoon or 2, just to help bind this pastry together nicely. So once the sweet pastry is bound together, you can actually roll this straight away. But if it's a little hot in your kitchen like it is for me, we're going to wrap this up and pop it in the fridge for 5 minutes while we butter and flour the mold. So give your tart mold a quick light coating in butter and on the inside, and then just dust it lightly with flour, shaking off any excess. And it should be looking something like that. Well, maybe not like that. So after about 5 minutes of chilling... Oh wait, I don't mean me. I mean the pastry. You want to lightly dust the work surface with flour. I say lightly, I've gone a little bit mad, I know. And then carefully roll out your sweet pastry. And once the pastry is rolled out thin enough, very carefully, as my kitchen's pretty hot, it's going to kind of break apart, is wrap up the pastry and then just carefully drop it into the tart, lifting the inside, not the handles, so it drops nicely into the tart. Don't worry if we got any like kind of cuts and breaks, we can fix this. And after a little bit of patching, eventually you'll get your tart where it needs to be. So you want to put this in the freezer, leave this for about 5 minutes to really firm up before it goes in the oven. So while the tart is chilling, we're actually going to strain off the excess liquid from the jam, as the jam is off the stove now. And we're just going to basically put it through a sieve and just let it sit there and drain, because it'll have a little bit of excess liquid there, which we don't want in the bottom of the tart. Now this is chilled and firmed. You can use the bacon bean method if you want to, but we're actually going to use the foil method. So putting the foil all the way on the inside here just to hold it down to stop the pastry from rising. So we're going to pop this onto the tray just in case there's any buttery leaks. Not leaks, but you know what I mean. Anyway, this is going to go into the oven for about 5 to 10 minutes just to firm up. So the tart's just come out, and we're just going to egg wash this just a little bit, just to give it a nice golden seal on it. And then we're going to pop it back in the oven for another 2 minutes. So there we go. That's sealed the deal beautifully. And what we're going to do, once this is cooled down, we're going to spread a little bit of that jam on the bottom and then start making that ruby chocolate mix. And we're going to need 400 ml or 1 cup and 3/4 cups of double cream or heavy whipping cream. Also, we're going to need 85 grams or 1/3 of a cup of caster sugar or fine granulated sugar. And then we want to pop this onto the stove to come up to a simmer. Once simmering, we're going to pour over the chocolate. So while we're waiting for that cream to come up to the simmer, we need to weigh out that ruby chocolate. So I got about 400 grams or 14 ounces of that beautiful ruby chocolate. Also, we're going to need 50 grams of unsalted butter or 1/4 of a cup cut into small little cubes. So the sugar's dissolved and that cream has come up to a simmer. So we're going to pour that straight over the chocolate and butter. And then we're just going to carefully mix that until that's all incorporated. And you should have a beautiful consistency once that's all incorporated. So before we add the chocolate, we need to start spreading out that jam on the bottom of the tart. So that drained off jam, just carefully plop it in. I say plop it in, right, but nice and gently, as best as you can. And then you just want to carefully just spread that out at the bottom of the tart using a crank spatula, or you could even use a spoon if you don't have one of these. And then next, you just want to carefully pour that beautiful mixture over the top. And if you've got some leftover, you can always fill it with some other little molds. So I've got a little touch left over. The tart is full. I don't want to overfill it, so I'm just going to pop this straight into a nice little mold here to set in the fridge. So give the tart a little tap just to pull out any air pockets. And we're going to carefully pop this in the fridge once this is slightly cooled down for about 2 hours. So finally, we've had 2 hours for this tart, and it's looking very delightful. Very, very happy so far. Feels very good. I'm hoping it's set just inside. If not, I would probably leave it overnight to set. But either way about it, we're going to garnish this up, and then we're going to cut into it and have a little goosey ganders. So I'm hoping it should come out the tart nice and easy. Oh, never mind. So that came out an absolute treat, and we're just going to garnish it up with those fresh strawberries and raspberries. And also I got a bit of dried strawberries and dried raspberries as well for a little bit of crunch. So I'm just going to start off with a little bit of dried strawberries on here, just for like a little base. And then just a few little dried raspberries as well on top. And then finished off a few little fresh strawberries and raspberries we're going to have here and there. And there it is, our berry ruby chocolate tart, which turned out absolutely wonderful. Super, super happy with it. Obviously the sweet paste that we made, and also in addition the strawberry and raspberry jam underneath, and then that ruby chocolate ganache over the top, and then finish with some dried raspberry and strawberries, fresh strawberries and raspberries. That's pretty much it. And if you want to get super fancy, we still got our strawberry glaze from earlier on that we drained off from the strawberry jam. And we can just glaze up those strawberries just with a little bit of that jam on there. And just to give you guys and gals a little bit of a close-up of that beautiful tart. Goodness me. Look at that little gem right there. Could even call it a ruby, right? Surely. So we're going to have a little cut into this bad boy right now. Have a little taste, see what it's like. Oh my goodness me. Also bear in mind to make sure that you use a hot knife as well. That beautiful, delightful little cross section right there. Goodness me. So if that's not a perfect ruby, I don't know what is. But that tart has come out a right little gem. So we're going to give this a little try and see how this goes down. I mean, this is super, super tender. Goodness me, it's just like melting. Wow. That is a perfect little gem right there. Rich, silky, fruity, the acidity popping, that crisp, sweet pastry. It turned out an absolute treat, so super happy with this tart. Wow, that tart turned out spot on. Absolutely fantastic. If you want to give this tart a go, the list of ingredients will be below in the description box. But that's it for this week, amigos. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel, always appreciated. In addition, feel free to check me out on Twitch Tuesday to Friday, cooking live on there with some delightful dishes. I won't be back next Monday. It'll be the last Monday I'll be skipping, but due to health reasons, I won't be here. But don't worry, don't panic, I'm fine. But I will see you next Monday. But until then, stay safe, awesome, and amazing.